Ari told Biniyam on 90 Day Fiancé that she is basically going to freaking leave him. Oh my god, you guys. The drama with Ari and Biniyam from 90 Day Fiancé is just not ever going to come to an end. It's freaking weird because on their social media, they seem to be all lovey-dovey and happy, but in reality, it's the complete freaking opposite. Here is the deal. Ari and Biniyam were yet again on 90 Day Bears All, and this time they were joined by Ari's parents. Now, I know they weren't probably the most fan-favorite people on the show, but I feel like deep down they were nice, sincere people. They kind of had a little bit of a rougher shell. That's how I perceived it, at least. But this time, you know, Sean asked the parents, hey, how's everything going? How do you feel about Ari and the baby being over in Ethiopia? And they're both like, we're not happy. We want her and the baby to come here. And the mom even said, you know, I understand why they would be there for the culture and being, you know, around Biniyam's family and whatnot, but she was eventually, we would like him to come here and go to school here in America. And honestly, I kind of freaking agree. But when they went back over to Biniyam and said, Biniyam, what do you think of that? He completely was like, no, I want the baby to be here. He was like, it's one thing we can go and visit America, but I want the baby to be here and grow up here and all that kind of jazz. And I heard that and I was like, wait, okay, what is going on? And it almost made me think, is this fake? Because when we first met Biniyam, he was trying to come to America. Then when he was with Ari, then he was like trying to come to America too. Now they have the baby, and I feel like he was still trying to come, but according to him now, he wants the baby to live in Ethiopia. I was just like, okay, wait, I thought he always wanted to come to America. So that was kind of weird, but then Ari was basically like, listen, I really want to have this baby go over to America. I agree with my mom and dad, and she was basically like, if Biniyam cannot straighten up his act and cannot change, I'm going to go over to America with the baby. And she was not talking about any ifs, ands, or buts like it was in question. It was like, I'm going to give this a shot. I will let to see him change, and then if he can't change, I'm leaving. And of course, you might be wondering, well, what change? What needs to go on? And this is what I'm talking about with their social media. Because if you go on their social media, they're dancing, they're skipping around, they're doing all this happy, lovey-dovey stuff. The baby's being, you know, here and there, and they look all happy. But that's not what's going on. We got to see in a couple episodes ago of 90 Day Bears All that what's actually going on is Biniyam is working late. There was one time where he went like, I think it was like 36 hours without contacting Ari. It was at least 24 hours without any contact at all. He's kind of keeping to himself. He's just kind of being shady, kind of being weird, so Ari says. And he was doing kind of just weird, bizarre stuff while Ari is home watching the baby. And his reasoning was, I'm working. So you can see both sides, but some of the stuff he was doing did seem kind of shady and kind of weird. I don't know if he's cheating. I don't know what to even think. Honestly, I wouldn't be terribly shocked. It doesn't sound like it, but he was doing kind of shady stuff, and quite simply put, Ari was just freaking upset and mad, and she was getting sick of it. So that was her reasoning. She said, look, if he will not change, and he will not try to help be with me more, help out with the baby and all this kind of stuff, I'm going to leave. And Ari's mom even said too, she goes, listen, if, you know, Ari will reach a breaking point. She will give her 100% and when she reaches that breaking point, there's no going back, and she will leave and never, ever, ever come back. Now, I'm probably not helping this situation, but can you imagine being this freaking baby? Cute. I think this baby's cute baby. But can you imagine being this baby and looking back in 15, 20 years and going, oh my God, my parents used to fight like cats and dogs, and it was on all national television. Now, like I said, I'm probably not helping that whole fighting situation, but oh my God, I feel bad for the baby. So it is weird. It is bizarre. Biniyam was trying to kind of be buddy-buddy with her parents. I think they were kind of not rubbed the wrong way, but I think what is going on now is they just look at Biniyam like he is a nice guy. He is. But he doesn't always do what he doesn't always walk the walk and talk the talk. You know what I mean? He will talk the talk, but when it comes to walking that walk and actually being there for the family and losing contact, he was gone for like it was like at least 24 hours. What kind of a good husband would, I mean, I'm not a husband, I don't know, but what kind of a good man, or woman for that matter, would ever do that? So that's not cool, and I think they're starting to kind of be like, you know what, he's really buddy-buddy when we're talking to him, but it's like when it's behind closed doors, when it's him and Ari and the baby, he doesn't always seem to kind of, you know, walk the walk. So I don't know why I keep saying that, but that's where I'm kind of going with it. So comment below. If I had to guess, y'all want to hear my prediction, I would guarantee y'all in about 8, 10, 12-ish, maybe a little bit more months, something along that 12 to maybe even 24 months. I don't know if I'd say that long, but a year and a half or so. I guarantee y'all, I bet hard cold cash, that Ari picks up and she goes back to America with the baby because she's probably just freaking sick and tired. I don't think Biniyam is ever going to change. That, weird communication where he only kind of communicates when he wants to kind of a thing, and now he just vanishes for 24 hours. That's how I feel like he was kind of raised. I feel like that's kind of his style, and I don't think he's going to change anytime soon. And so Biniyam might go with her, but I don't think she's staying in Ethiopia. They had other issues. They had other issues with the power outage. They had a power outage for it was like 3 weeks apparently in Ethiopia. So stuff like that, it's not gonna, there's just absolutely no way she's going to stay there. Give it some time. I don't know if it'll be a couple months, a year, maybe even a little bit longer, and I guarantee you Ari will be leaving and probably Biniyam will be going with her. But hey, what the heck do I know? I am just a babbling idiot. So comment below what y'all have to say. And now we are talking about 90 Day Bearzall. We gotta actually see, a lot of other crazy, bizarre stuff. 90 Day Bearzall, it never disappoints because like I said, we gotta see Ari and Biniyam. But before we gotta see them, we gotta see Tanya and Sinjin. Do you guys remember them? They are more of an original 90 Day Fiancé couple from a few seasons ago. They had their fair share of ups and downs, and literally, when I say fair share, I mean, oh my god. If you don't remember, during the first season, they were fighting once again like cats and dogs, and I was saying on this, channel, I was literally saying they had no business getting married. Well, guess what? They got married. And they're surprisingly still together. We saw them on 90 Day Fiancé, it was 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, I believe, and they were on it, once again, fighting like crazy, no business being together, but they are still sticking it out, and I will say one thing, they definitely do fight a lot. Sinjin kind of appeared to have a drinking problem. That was never really confronted, but he definitely does have somewhat of an issue, because the guy partied a lot. But I will say one thing, when it comes to their romantic bedroom life, they got that whole thing under control because they have no issues in that department. So basically the whole segment with Tanya and Sinjin was them talking about their bedroom stuff, and that's all I'm gonna say. That was it. I mean, I don't know why, who comes up with these topics? We want to hear the drama. We want to hear the gossip. Are they ever gonna have babies? Did Sinjin ever get a job? Because remember, Sinjin would never get a job. And the other thing too is, did Tanya ever get a job? Because Tanya had this whole thing, she was hurt, she couldn't work, she used to bartend. Okay, well, she was skipping and running around pretty good this episode. She was literally running around building a tent. And you're probably wondering, what? Okay, yeah, it made no sense. They do the dumbest crap on this show, but she was running around, her foot, her ankle, or whatever was injured is not injured anymore. So did she ever get a job? And I'm sure probably not. But it's like she used to always complain and scream and get mad at Sinjin because he could never get a job. Well, how about you now, Tanya? But I don't know, I can't say for sure. Maybe they're just doing cameos now. Maybe they're just, who knows? Maybe they're just getting the stimulus checks. Who really freaking knows? I have no idea what they're doing, but that is stuff I'm curious about. And of course, they didn't ask one of those questions. Sean asked about all their stupid bedroom life, which to me, I could care less about. So we got to see them. Then with Tanya and Sinjin, we got to actually watch, the Biniyam and Ari drama, and then a little bit of commentary from Tanya and Sinjin. The only thing I will say was kind of interesting was Sinjin, if you don't remember, he wanted to go back to South Africa really bad. And so it's like when they were kind of talking about that whole thing of, Ari wanted to go back to America, Sinjin kind of, he said a couple comments about maybe he'd go and buy some dirt in South Africa and kind of thing, and you can see Tanya was not for it, but it was not much of a conversation, real little comment, and then they went on to their segment. But they also, when they were there, like I said, they got to see Ari and Binny, then they also got to see Laura. Do you guys remember Laura? And I hate to stand here and be rude and hard, but that's kind of just my thing, apparently, and I hate to be so negative. I want to be more positive in life, but yeah, Laura, I can't, for the love of God, I can't stand her. That is Laura. She was with a guy named Aladdin. She went over, actually, to his country in Tunisia and literally married the guy, and it was one of those deals, let's be real, guys. Okay, Aladdin, real good looking guy. Laura, nothing against her, but she was 20 plus, maybe even 30 years. She was much older than him. She was probably about 25 years old. I don't know the specifics, but she was a lot older. And we could always see, the weird thing was this, she went to him. So that was kind of the question was, we knew he was using her for something, obviously, but it was like, what? Because it wasn't the green card, but I think what was actually going down was he was using her for money, and he probably figured eventually he would just go over to America, which is weird because she's actually from Canada, so it was a really odd situation. But anyway, she went there, they got married, things started to kind of get kind of tense. I will say though, for his defense, she was like drinking and doing things that he did not want her to do. He was very controlling, but I will say it wasn't like she was all on her best behavior. She was doing stuff too. So it wasn't just him, but they were not meshing at all. And right after they got married, he got really upset, got fired up, and then he ended up filing for divorce. And so she had this huge hysterical meltdown. Well, long story short, she ended up freaking moving to Ecuador to be by Corey and Evelyn. So that was a whole drama in itself because they ended up getting into a huge fight. Long story short, now she is back in Canada. She was running around supposedly dating this guy like literally my age, like a year ago. Well, maybe it was, I don't know, it was like a couple months, 6 months, 8, it might have been a year ago, honestly. She was on some 90 Day Fiancé spinoff dating a guy that was like my age, real good looking guy. I called BS. I posted a video on it, and Laura actually messaged me saying, hey, will you give credit to the guy she was dating? It was a complete, follower. They were just trying to get followers. It was totally fake, not real. Anyway, so she went on 90 Day Bears All. She said that she is done with Aladdin. She was just bashing the guy, obviously. She's not going to act like anything positive came out of it because he totally embarrassed her. And then once that happened, of course, Sean asked her, well, are you dating anyone else? And she goes, I always just attract weirdos, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, okay, one of the guys is probably the guy that I did a video on who was like my age. But she didn't mention him specifically, but she told a couple stupid dating stories, which were probably fake. And then she went on to talk about this new man she's been talking to, who she has never met, but she was saying he's a doctor, and he's a this, and he's a that, and he's all these incredible, amazing things. However, not only has she never met the guy is younger than Aladdin. So what, that's, you see, you guys want to know why I think she's a freaking liar? Aladdin was what, 27, 28, 29 years old? You can't be a doctor, and what is the guy, 24 years old and he's a doctor? That's not even physically possible. I don't know, that's not possible. You graduate college when you're like 22, and then doctor school, medical school is another however many years, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, however long it is. You are not going to be like 23, 24 years old and be a freaking doctor. So I don't believe it. She claims that she never met the guy, but the relationship is working great. I don't believe it for a literal second, not 1 second. I don't think this guy is real. And I honestly, hey, if Laura ever watches this video, she probably won't, but if she ever does, she can come on this channel with the guy because I've seen him in video chat. Okay, bring him on, bring him to me. If he's really a doctor, let's see this, medical certificate. I want to see all the licenses. I want to see everything because there is no way, number one, there is a very little chance that this guy is real. If he is a real human being, which probably isn't true, there is literally about a 0% chance that he is a doctor. And if he is a doctor and he's real and he is actually in love with Laura, why haven't you met the guy? So it's just probably not true. But that is Laura. That is her update. Nothing too terribly exciting besides a bunch of load of crap. And last but not least, actually no, well, kind of. Here's the deal. We got to see one other couple at the end, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I didn't watch them. They're from like season 1, 90 Day Fiancé. I skipped through it, didn't watch it. I don't even know who they are. I remember them vaguely, but not enough to even comment, so I skipped right through it and I went to bed. So I didn't watch them. But before they were on, we did get to see Joey. And Joey was on by himself, of course, with no wedding ring, because you can't wear a wedding ring on, because at this point we don't technically know on 90 Day Fiancé that they do end up getting married and have a baby. So, he had no ring. He was acting like he was still kind of like, in this, I guess, kind of a relationship with Yara, but he could not say that they were actually, ready and married and had the baby and everything. But yes, this was filmed pretty recently, so they had the baby and all that kind of jazz. But he came on, and basically the only thing that happened was they brought in a lie detector, and they were trying to figure out what of his life is true. Apparently, he was this freaking stud who was running around with all these different women. I never really knew that. I guess that kind of makes sense because Yara is attractive, and she kind of is like a model of some sort, so that probably is kind of the truth. But Joey's claim to fame, I guess, is that he was running around to here and to Jamaica and all this stuff with adult dancer type people, and so that was the whole thing. And so Sean was asking him questions about his relationship with these people, and of course, finally, the funniest thing was, they were asking him questions like, well, have you, been in a romantic state, I guess, with some of these people, if you know what I mean. And Joey just was kind of saying, he was saying no. And then, of course, the detective was saying, no, okay, that was a lie, you have. Then Joey was kind of blushing and laughing. And then so Sean was like, oh my God. And then Joey was like, hey, they're real people too, Sean. And it's like, you know what? They are real people too, Sean. I can't freaking stand Sean. I can barely even watch 90 Day Bears All because of Sean. And if one day I am working with Sean, I don't know when that would ever happened. This would be hilarious and it would probably bite me in the you-know-what, but I'm being freaking honest. Sean just reads a script, and I can't stand that. She's just like, oh my god, I can't stand listening to her. And I know people probably can't stand me either, I totally get it, but it's like, oh my god, she freaking annoys me. Maybe I'm jealous, I don't know, but anyway, she was trying to joke around with Jovi about these women, and it wasn't very funny, and it was kind of just awkward, and honestly, Jovi was kind of sitting there like trying to fake laugh, and she was trying to fake laugh, and it was just weird. So they had that, they were talking about Yara, that was basically it with Jovi, nothing too terribly exciting, but we do know he's still with Yara. They had the baby, and they are doing really well, and they are happy, apparently. It sounds like, though, we are probably going to be seeing them pretty soon in the next season of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching 90 Day Bears All. It is one of my kind of low-key favorite shows because I kind of like it. I don't know why. I like parts of it, but Sean, oh, you already know, I can't stand. I'm sorry, that's rude. I really am sorry. Sean, if you watch these videos, you probably don't, but if you do, I am sorry. Well, guys, 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Bears All, baby. Hit that like button, hit the comments below, hit the subscribe button. There's one big, beautiful button that I don't mention near enough, and that is the share button. The cool thing about the share button is you can press it, and it looks amazing, and it looks even prettier when you press the freaking thing. And then when you press it, you can share it with a friend, a family, a homeless person, a guy on a freaking street corner, a 90 Day Fiancé group. You can share with anyone, your grandma, your grandson, your granddaughter. Hey, there you go. And anyone else. Well, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to shut up for once and for all, and stay tuned for many more videos.